Good morning, Keith Tebow with you on this Thursday morning. Time for our weekly conversation with the mayor of the city of Fall River, Mayor Paul Coogan. Mayor, how are you?
I'm doing fine, Keith. How about you?
I am doing well. I want to, let's get to the first issue in terms of the vaccine and the updates on COVID-19. One of the questions that I've just been thinking about in the last few days is, the number of vaccinations that have been administered. The governor makes a big point of how many have been administered statewide. Do we know of any local numbers? How many Fall Riverites have been vaccinated either by one dose or two?
I had heard something last week that was around 14,000 one dose and maybe seven or eight fully vaccinated with two doses in Fall River. I don't know if those were hard counts or just, I think they were, but it had to change since then because we've still been doing it every day. So, but it was numbers like that. It was like half of what the first dose was, and that was around 14,000.
So that's about 20%, if my math is right. 25% would be about 20,000. Yeah, so that's a pretty good number. Now, in terms of number of vaccines, I know the governor has been touting more vaccines coming. Is the city expected to get more for its site at Bristol?
Oh yeah, we're going to be getting, well, it might not be at Bristol, but we're going to be getting some FEMA doses. I think we'll see an announcement coming out within the next few days. We're going to try to use the city parks. They want to do it outdoors in neighborhoods where people can come, and I believe we're going to have a substantial increase in the number of doses. I've been told something like 3,500 a week. Now, that's what I was told. I haven't seen anything on that yet, so I'm hoping that comes to fruition. We're going to be going probably to Kennedy, Lafayette, and Maplewood, and setting up a site for FEMA to come in and give people vaccinations. So that's what we're working on.
Any timetable on that, or is that something that's going to be in the works?
It could be next weekend.
Oh, that soon.
Yeah, that's soon. I mean, I'm hearing that that's what they're looking at today. We'll work on it if we get a chance. We also have we have an equity clinic today at BCC from 3:30 to 6:30. I'm going to do another 400 people then. We've also got another clinic next Monday or Tuesday that we'll be doing probably at one of the neighborhood spots. We've been doing high rises regularly. We've been in a couple this week. We keep going around and we're getting vaccines out to people as best as we can.
So all good news on the vaccination front, as long as the COVID infection numbers remain relatively steady. We know last week the city had a bump based on the week before. So any indication on how those may look this week?
No, I got a feeling we'll probably still be in the red, but it's funny, Keith, like I said to you last week, now everybody calls us about vaccines. No one seems to be worried about the number anymore. And I'm hoping, I saw a number this morning of about 18-19% statewide for fully vaccinated people when you combine that with the 600,000 people that had it. So we've got to be getting up to a point where it's almost 30-40% vaccinated. So I'm hoping that or protected, I should say. That's the ones that had it. But again, we're going to start to head towards herd immunity with another million or so people done.
And meanwhile, some other good news happening next week, as most of the city's elementary school children will be back in person on April 5th. Do you have an idea, Mayor, on how many of those students and their families have still opted out to be remote? I remember the superintendent saying that initial surveys show that many of those students were actually going to be welcomed back, those remote students. Do you have any updates?
No, I think they're starting to come back now. I did a tour the other day at Sylvia Elementary School, and those classrooms looked full to me. There's a lot of kids in the rooms, and the unofficial survey of who's happy to be back, every hand went up. So it's definitely a positive step. I would love to get these kids 2 or 3 months of traditional learning before they melt into what we do with them over the summer, and then they come back in the fall. They're used to being back in the classroom, operating on a bell system, and seeing their friends. It definitely was great to see the kids back in the room.
And of course, the middle school kids will be back, and the high school kids toward the end of April. So that's all good news. Well, yeah. Is there an opportunity that they may come back sooner? I know the super. Okay, we'll never know. We'll wait and see. Unfortunately, there was some disturbing news that came out this week. The child advocate at the DCF reported on its findings on the tragic death of a 14-year-old autistic teen that passed away last fall in the city. There was some finger pointing a little bit at the school department. Has the DCF been in touch with you, or as far as you know, with the school department on what may have happened there in terms of how maybe the school department could have played a different role in this?
Yeah, we looked at our policies after this incident. We've adjusted them in a number of ways so that we can not never have an incident like this again. This was just a very, very bad set of circumstances that led to the ultimate tragedy for that young man, and it is really, really upsetting. Just thinking about it again now that you brought it up, it's me very, very, I should say, annoyed and upset. This was a tragedy. I looked at everything that happened down the line for this young man since I've read the report or most of it. It was step after step after step of mistakes that led to this outcome. And there's plenty of blame to go around everywhere. I could tell everybody if it was a pie, we'd be cutting it up in 7 or 8 slices, and it just ended up with the most horrific tragedy of the whole pandemic. It was the worst thing I've heard. I mean, we obviously had a number of people pass away, but this one was extremely sad.
Yeah. No doubt about it. And as we head into the warmer months, I know last week your office announced as we head toward Earth Day in a few weeks, still a few weeks away, you've got a couple of events planned on April 24th, another citywide cleanup, and the first drive-in movie of the year. I believe today, right, is the first day that people can get tickets for the drive-in, I believe?
Yes. Today's the first day, and hopefully we get a great crowd. I mean, they went over very well last year, and people say, well, why are you going back to Durfee? I'm going back to Durfee because they have the perfect slope in their parking lot for a drive-in. They have the bathrooms right there. It's easy access from Major Road, President Avenue, and it is a drive-in, so we do want people to drive there. And it is for kids, so bring your children, put them in the back of your pickup truck or your SUV, enjoy the night out. We're going to have some other fun events going on that night, and we want people to do the right thing when they get there. Keep social distance, be smart, but again, have some fun. It's a free night out for the family, and thanks to Senator Michael Rodrigues and the team here in the mayor's office, we put together 6 of them. So some of them we may move to a park if COVID loosens up enough that we can let people lay on blankets. We may move a few to a park down the road, but right now the next few will be at Durfee until we come out of this completely.
All right, sounds good, Mayor. As always, thank you for joining me. We'll talk again next week. And happy Easter for one, and 2. Remember, it's April Fool's Day. Don't get fooled.
I thought that's what the interview was about, Keith. I thought
no, not today. No, not today. All right, Mayor. Have a great holiday. Take care.
Thank you. Yep.
And thank you for joining us today here on FRC Media. I'm Keith Tebow. Have a great day.